we're live, then I'll hit the button.
We're live.
We're live.
Well, I know it says live here, but I want to see it over here.
5, 6, 7.
I'm waiting for it to catch up over on the YouTube stream.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll hit the music.
Good afternoon, people.
Hi, everybody.
Or evening? Is it evening? Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay, so I just got the notifications of live.
All right.
All right, there it is.
Here we go.
So here comes the... Where is it?
Cucumber.
There it is, right there.
That's not the one.
All right, all right, all right.
You know what time it is? You know what time it is, good people? It's time for the Painfully Honest Tech Podcast. The podcast so honest, it hurts. It hurts. Show me what you're working with. Anyway,
I think given the title today, because
Yes.
first of all, we're live
the
on
title?
YouTube. We're live on YouTube, everybody, at 8 o'clock Eastern every Tuesday, so you can participate and be part of this whole wonderful discussion with Viper, Jason, and I on Tuesdays, 8 o'clock Eastern. But then the audio gets pushed out to your favorite podcast formats, Apple, Google, Spotify, etc., on Thursdays. But the reason I'm saying that is because we're live on YouTube, and the word on the street is if you say the word Renee Ritchie, if you say those words, he sometimes shows up in the chat, especially when the podcast is something Apple related. Because I'm just waiting for it now. When it happens, I'm going to freak out.
Yeah, he may show up tonight, and I have an announcement to make. I hope this doesn't make too many people mad. I'm not trying to make people mad, but we have the replays of the podcast that can be available. We can leave them up, but what I need to do is take them down to being unlisted, and just because it messes with analytics.
Yep.
And so people who want to watch the podcast replay video-wise, it's now behind a paywall. I'm sorry, but it is. $2 starts the membership costs and go all the way up to $15.
I think that's reasonable because if you want to experience it here on YouTube, be here for the live thing. Otherwise, wait for the audio on Thursday, right?
Or pay $2 to watch it later.
Boom.
So I've been hearing weird things about YouTube memberships too. Some people contacted me and were like, it kind of stinks because they take money out just whenever, and at least Patreon waits until the end of the month. So
it's based on when people subscribe. So if they subscribe on the 5th of the month, it's going to be the 5th of every month. If they subscribe on the 15th, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, if they're any kind of bookkeeper like I am, they'll get overdrawn.
If you're a Patreon, if you go through, for example, with Patreon, if you subscribe to someone's Patreon on the 25th, you get charged right then for the rest of that month, and then again on the 1st.
Well, it's not yet. It's not yet the 15th, so we're good. You can also join the Patreon. I haven't been pushing the Patreon too much because it's easier to talk to people and send out all kinds of messages and do live streams and that kind of thing on YouTube with memberships. But seems like some people don't like memberships. Yeah. So if you want to check out, if you want to watch it again after watching it live, you can become a member of the channel. The link is down there in the little thing that's under the video. So anyway, I had to get that out there so people understand what's going on.
Before we go any further, we'll get more into this tonight. But when he talked about memberships, you all, it's optional. He's charging you $2 a month if you want to watch the video version of the podcast. If you can't be here when we go live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then you can pay $2 a month to watch the replay of the video. Like that. If you don't want to do that, then you can just catch the audio version on, I think, Thursday night. They put it out. So it is optional. A lot of people complain about things that they don't have to partake in. It is optional content. And we're going to get into more of this later on as it relates to another topic. But optional, people. The key word is optional.
I have memberships. That's a good point. I have memberships on my channel, and I'm fairly right now. I currently have 3 levels, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to reduce it down to 2, if not 1, to make it all inclusive based on the size of my channel. And it's pretty easy things to do. So again, optional. You're not losing out on any content.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. All this stuff is optional. I mean, the most important thing to me is that you guys show up and are hanging out with us and watching the videos and all that kind of thing. That's over and above more than enough for anybody. However, if you want to, there are other things besides just access to the videos that goes with membership. You get some cool little wizard hats in the chat and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there because
house cleaning. That's okay. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So what happened today? Everybody lost their mind today on Twitter. A bunch of hot takes. I'm sure we all have something to say. But who wants to introduce what Apple did today?
Viper, you want to?
I can see Viper just foaming at the mouth here.
I'm not foaming, but I'll go ahead. I guess I'll go ahead and start. I mean, so I think it was about a month ago, John Prosser had put out, I think maybe a month ago or a few weeks ago, John Prosser or one of the Apple leakers put out a tweet that there would be a Apple Christmas surprise. And the date it was rumored for was December 8th, which is today. So December 8th came this morning, and lo and behold, there was an Apple surprise. Apple finally released or unveiled the AirPods Max. It is so hard not to say AirPods Pro Max. That is
I know, right?
The Pro Max are going to be like $1,000.
I'm so used to saying Studio based on the leaks.
It's crazy. But Apple, when their naming conventions is all out of whack. But
hey, it's better than Sony than WMX 1000 90210.
Whatever it is.
Apple released their Apple AirPods Max, their over-the-ear studio quality headphones at a whopping price of $549.
Dude, there's 750. There's 750 Canadian.
Woo!
My mortgage payment is less than that per month.
So when you have Apple come out with a pair of over-ear headphones, their very first that are AirPods branded, by the way, for a whopping $549, that's going to get a few people talking, and it certainly did this morning on the Twitter spheres and around the tech space.
So I pulled up Genosis's comment here because John Prosser also put together a render with, I think, content creator or
concept creator. Yes,
concept creator. Yeah,
very talented individual. He's very big on Twitter and whatnot. He has a YouTube channel, but terrific asset for the community.
Yeah, and it was pretty close. I mean, the ear cups were more rectangular in John's render, and the thing is, they looked a heck of a lot like Bowers and Wilkins over-the-ear wireless headphones. So I'll tell the story of how I found out that this happened. I was lying in bed. It's about 9:30.
All the paper on the story start.
Oh boy.
I was lying in bed, just tooling around and kind of looking at my emails and stuff. And then pa-ding, I get a Facebook message, and it's Zach.
Yeah, I'm the one that told you, man.
Sending me the link to what they've announced.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I didn't read whatever Zach wrote. I just like clicked on it, went to Apple's page,
You just bought them
and hit buy. Just buy.
I thought for sure that you would like hum and ha. I thought for sure you would, of all people, an audio engineer and whatever else you are.
That's why he didn't because these are right up his alley.
So I'm just wondering, if I send you a link to my Amazon wish list with shipping to me, if I send you, will you just buy it and send it to me?
I think you have to do Chatterbait or get a OnlyFans or something like that for that to happen.
I'm thinking of doing an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Don't clip that. Don't clip that trend.
So according to the story, Jason, you didn't even think twice. You just hit the go buy button. So now, after you had some time to mull it over, what are your initial thoughts?
Oh, boy. I mean,
hands rubbing together. Birdman, hands rubbing together.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry for some good headphones. That's how I feel right now.
So you think? Okay. Jesus, I can't believe. Okay.
Let him finish. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, you want to go ahead.
I thought you were talking.
No, I can't believe you said good headphones.
I didn't say good.
Because you just said
I said I'm hankering for some good headphones. Yes.
Yeah.
Whether or not these turn out to be good headphones is yet to be seen.
Okay. Or heard.
However, everything that they put in the menu there seems quite tasty. So, so I have been waiting for a pair of wireless headphones that weren't annoying as crap and did all the things that you would want them to do and sounded like $1,000 or whatever, and there are lots of good headphones out there. In my video, I was wearing my Sennheiser HD 600s because those are like $400 headphones and they got a wire. So one of my points is that in the world of headphones, if this in fact climbs up to the level of competing with the Sonys, well, not the Sonys, the Sennheisers, the Bowers and Wilkins, the Hi-Fi Man, if they climb up to that, like that's actually like the mid-tier of audiophile headphones, because you can spend upwards of $6,000, $8,000. I think Sennheiser has a $15,000 pair of headphones that you can buy. I think you have to mortgage your house. But so in terms of good headphones, these are in the price range, and you get the value add of all of that stuff that happens with connecting it to your Apple devices.
Yeah, and you're very specific about that because if you're using anything other than an Apple device, iPhone, iPad, Mac, I don't think you could take full advantage
Apple
of what's in
TV.
there.
Yeah. I mean, you get the handoff.
Yeah.
You get the spatial sound. You get all kinds of, not spatial, like you get a spatial sound, but spatial, SPATIAL. And supposedly, I haven't tried it yet because my AirPods Pro are kind of wonky. But supposedly, I think Jeff and Travis both said that the spatial audio was incredible.
It's legit.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of that stuff, like, let me lay it down for you people.
All right. Lay it down.
If you have an Android phone, if you have a PC, if you don't own any Apple devices at all, then just don't buy it and don't complain. Okay? Yeah. It's not for you. It's not for you. Don't buy it. Don't complain. We don't need to hear from you.
Now, before you go, Jason, let us just make the people aware that they do support Bluetooth music playback. So
they do, yeah.
You can use them with a non-Apple device, but as Jason just stated, you won't get the full potential functionality of using them with Apple devices if you're not using them with an Apple device. So just be aware.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you won't get the automatic like connect. You won't get the handoff from your phone to your TV or to your whatever, you won't get any of that stuff. And I think it's important to recognize that. I don't know why people say wireless headphones with the battery locked inside are disposable.
But can you change it out?
No, but the thing is, like, the lifespan of those batteries, it's not like your smartphone where you're like taxing the battery super hard all the time. I have headphones that I charge, like the Q10s. I don't think I've charged them since I bought them.
Yeah, I haven't. I got,
and
mine
that was
in
back in February.
Yeah, I bought mine in June.
February.
December. Yeah.
So the thing is, you could use these headphones until you're as old as I am and have no problems whatsoever. So I also saw, I think it was Michael Pepper. Yeah. This is a misnomer. This whole, you don't get a charging cable with it is untrue.
Well, you get a cable. You don't get the block. You don't get the power adapter. There's no power adapter in there.
I don't care.
Well, I know because you have them sitting around everywhere.
This is a $550 pair of headphones specifically geared toward Apple users. So I think it's pretty safe to say that they themselves will also have a charging brick or two.
Yeah, these
So-
are. Sorry, I was just going to say really quick. I guess I'm going to kind of echo the things that you have said in your video. By the way, your video was really well done, I thought.
Thank you.
I'm still kind of surprised that you didn't go full like John McClane and go crazy kind of thing about about these. So, but I do look forward to your full review because I mean, between you, El Jefe Reviews, Board at Work, GameSkeet, between all you guys, all you audio guys, especially you as an engineer, I'm really intrigued about like how deep he'll go about this and whatnot. But anyway, I just want to say this. I think the majority of reactions today, obviously, if you look at Twitter, were sticker shock. Most, oh my God, right? Okay. Once you get past that, if you put that aside, and I know that's the price point is huge, especially now with everything that's going on in the world. To put that aside most people can't do that. But if you put that aside, like you said, and you realize the niche these are for, audiophiles, maybe not, depending on how snobby they are, but definitely your Apple crowd, the ones you guys know what I'm talking about. Come on, let's not deny it. The ones that buy anything with Apple's logo on it, and they want that luxury experience, then yeah, I think from what Apple's packed in there, based on what we know so far, I think these are. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think these are somewhat worth it. They're not for me, even as a former disc jockey and whatnot. I mean, I probably could tell the difference, but I also have a great time with my Q10s. So, that's kind of my thing on it. If you have an Android, don't use them, like you said. This is definitely a niche thing. And the other thing I want to say, and I mentioned this before we went online, and Viper's like, hold it, wait for the show. I said this. For all the people that are saying Apple's greedy and da-da-da, shut up, okay? You do not need Apple products to live. You do not have to buy them. There's no greed here. They are a company that makes products. You either buy them or don't. There are thousands of options out there to pick for headphones. This is the way Apple has started. So stop with the whole greed thing and this and that. They don't owe you anything. They sell you a product. You either buy it or not. Please stop with the whole greed comments, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, and by the way, I am capable to look at both sides of the argument about these headphones. Deal with it. It's the way that Zach does things.
This is if there are two categories of things in life, there are need to haves and want to haves. These headphones are like high up on the mountain of want to have. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you have sticker shock about the price of these headphones, then you probably shouldn't buy them.
Exactly.
You probably should just, it's not Apple being greedy. It's not Apple, screwing the working man or anything like that. It's just the price point that these headphones come in at.
And this is the first and probably a whole line. I mean, it has to be because they bought Beats of what we're going to expect from Apple for headphones. This is just the first. If you believe the leaks in this out, there's going to be a sport line, and I look forward to that. This also opens up the market for a lot of people to go, okay, what else is out there? Viper can speak to this, and I'm sure he will. The Sony XM 90210, 1000, whatever they are amazing, correct?
M4s.
Yeah. Viper got Marquez to buy a pair of those, right? So up until today, those were the guys to buy, right? I think you probably get a better experience with those.
Well, I'll say this. I have the Sonys.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Soundcore Q30s and Q20s and their noise canceling headphones as well. I would probably, if left to my own devices, I would buy the Q30s before I'd buy the Sonys.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to make a decision, because I'm getting much, much more value for my dollar. They're overperforming those Q30s.
Yeah.
Whereas the Sonys, I mean, they sound good and they ought to sound good, but given my experience with headphones, they don't sound as good as like really good headphones. So, right? It's one of those things. Like and again, I will reiterate, as I did in the video and as I've already done here, if these things show up and they sound like dog poop, I will be the first one with the video out ranting and raving about the dog poop. Okay.
Good. That's good.
That's but I'm not gonna outright dismiss something because it's got a high price tag. I mean, it's Apple. Like I complained about the Mac Pros when they came out, right? Because it was FOMO. I'll admit it. It was just FOMO. I couldn't deal with it.
Yep.
$6,000 base price, and then if you wanted to get the Pro XDR display, it's another $6,000. So there, that was a lot of money, and I was guilty of this. I complained and whined and people said to me, if you can't afford it, it's probably not for you. And and it's true for the Mac Pros in the sense that the people who are buying Mac Pros, other than the people who just have too much money and no clue what to do with it, the people who are buying Mac Pros are buying them for business, like for whatever their business is, right? And so whether they're a higher echelon YouTuber like John Morrison, or a recording studio that does like tons and tons of business, they are the people who that machine is intended for, right? There's a space where that exists, and it should exist. $550 wireless headphones.
Viper, you have a lot of headphones. You've done some reviews this year. Like I said, you got Marquez on those Sony. I don't even know the name. Whatever. I mean, as a headphone, would you consider yourself a headphone collector, Viper?
I damn sure own enough.
Okay, so continuing on what you said before, and in addition to what Jason said here, I mean, are you gonna be picking up a pair of these? Yay or nay?
All right, so I got a lot to say. So let me see if I can get it all out in one cohesive paragraph, or whatever. So when I first heard about the first reaction, $549. What are you doing, Apple? What are you talking about? Not to mention the fact that Apple happened to drop a $549 pair of headphones 2 weeks before Christmas. Apple, how could you do that to him? But when I look past the sticker price of the headphones, the AirPods and the AirPod Pro, to me anyway, sound good. I know a lot of audiophiles, border work, I'm talking to you, they hate on the sound quality of the AirPod, but I think they sound good. The HomePod and HomePod Mini both sound amazing. They have amazing audio quality. So my thought is, okay, we have the $549 pair of over-ear Apple headphones. If they could take a tenth of the audio quality of the HomePod and put them into these headphones, they will have something special on their hands. And that's before we talk about the simultaneous pairing to all your Apple devices, the spatial audio, active noise cancellation, transparency mode, blah, blah, blah. So Apple could have a massive hit on their hands if the audio quality can justify that price point. But the price point kind of makes me feel the wrong way. And I just don't like how they look. I think they look absolutely hideous. But that's just me. I know.
Really?
Agree. Oh, they look hideous. They look like they're from the 50s. Ain't nobody got time for that. But
man, I see what
I
I love.
You love them, aren't you?
What I love about that design is it's like the iPhone 5S or whatever. It calls back to past designs. Great industrial design of the past, like
way past.
But it also has that sheen of being new. And so Apple does this as well as, if not better than anybody else. They bring like points from the past, accents from the past, bring their own flair to it, and then you've got something that's unique. That's why when I saw the render that John did, I was like, okay, that's all right, but I can look at those and see what headphones they look like. So, I want Apple to make something that doesn't look like anything that anybody else is making.
You know what they kind of remind me of? Now that I think about it, they kind of remind me of the Apple Watch. They almost look exactly like an Apple Watch, really, with the squared off ear cup. But here's the other thing. It's Apple's very first over-ear headphones. They're coming in at a $549 price point. They are going directly up against the Sony WH-1000 XM4, the Bose NT700s. Skull Candy has headphones up there too, not nearly as good, but they got some headphones. And like you mentioned earlier, the other headphones like the Bowers and Wilkers, the Sennheisers, all those things. So this ain't like the AirPod where Apple pretty much carved out a new category. The over-ear headphone category is already established and been established for a very long time. You got heavy hitters in that category. Apple cannot come weak. They better bring their A game. Otherwise, they will be embarrassed very quickly because right now, the Sony WH-1000 XM4s are the king of the mountain. And it is going to take one hell of an effort from Apple to dethrone them, even for Apple, because Apple and AirPod, the AirPod brand is a household name right now, and that's all good and well. But the Sony WH-1000 XM4s are still the king of the damn mountain until somebody knocks them off. Good luck, Apple. Good luck.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I honestly don't think that these Apple headphones, the AirPods Max, are in competition with the Sonys or the Bose or the whatever else noise canceling headphones that are out there. They're not necessarily in competition with those headphones because those headphones have an entirely different use case. The value add, the reason that these headphones could be like very special is because A, they got to show up with the sound, and B, it's like the crowning achievement of the Apple ecosystem. To like, I'd never have to take my headphones off. You know, it's just I'm very excited.
I'm interested to know about, like you just mentioned about taking them off, like ear fatigue. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, with my Q10s, I can go 3-ish hours without taking them off, without, you know, getting overly warm. With these, I can never remember the model number of these. You help me buy these.
Yeah, the ATH M30s.
These are the 30s. These are lower model. Yeah, like I could wear. I've done long podcasts with these or like that. At 20 hours battery life, I thought it'd be better. Honestly, I thought they'd be 30 or more. I'm kind of surprised at 20 hours. I really am.
Well, 20 is kind of the standard with headphones.
Yeah.
It's not that. I mean, for real.
What are the Sonys?
20 hours straight. Sony is about 30.
Sony's at 30? Okay.
But most headphones are about 20 or less. The Surface headphone 2s are 20. The Bose NT700s are 20.
Wow,
I mean,
okay.
most headphones are 20. But the other thing, Zach, to talk about the point that you're making about ear fatigue.
Yeah.
The AirPod Max have a breathable mesh material that they're made of. So I think that will be a lot better on your ears, especially for long-term wearage.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to kind of talk about some of these comments in the chat. So Pecan, he says, she says, I don't know. How can they call them pods? They're not pods.
Everything is pod with Apple.
What I mean, it's a little thing that has it's a pod. It's not an in-ear headphone, but it's a pod.
That's how Apple brand things: iPod, AirPods, HomePod. What do you mean?
Yeah, the HomePods aren't a pod. Yeah, so I mean, you guys can nitpick everything that you want, but yeah, Michael Pepper's got a good point here. 5 minutes charge for an hour and a half of use. So you plug them in when you're on your way home from work, or you're getting on an airplane and you're low on juice, and it'll most likely get you through at least like a.
What kind of charge you need that for that? You probably need an 18 watt at minimum, if not 20. Correct?
Well, they discontinued the 18s.
Did they?
So the 20s are the new 18s.
So you probably need a 20. Correct? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is another thing. Like, okay. So when I heard that Apple was taking the charger out of the box and the headphones out of the box, I was very upset.
Yeah.
I was very upset. But I don't want to chase the horse after it's already left the barn. Okay? It's been done. Apple is, think of it this way. Apple is giving you a choice. You can get whatever charger you want. So if you want to pay $20 and get the 20-watt charger, go ahead and do it. If you want to pay $20 and get the 5-watt charger, you're a sucker. That's how much they're charging for the 5-watt, which they used to give away free in the box with the phones. But then you can get Anchor, you can get whatever else. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of charging bricks that you can get that do all kinds of things, and you can buy it special for yourself.
It's interesting.
Whatever you want.
I was talking with the Anchor rep today about that whole thing,
Mhm.
right? And he's like, it's one of the best things that ever happened for us because everybody's looking at their stuff a lot more now, which is good. And an interesting comment I saw on your video to my comment, which is, will this make other companies increase their prices? No, I don't think it will.
No.
I think
Oh,
you're going to see.
God, no.
I think you're going to see a ton more, companies and this and that, and other models coming from brands we know like Skull Candy, Monster, Anchor, et cetera, Soundcore, with even better price points. So I hate to give Apple some credit that way, but if you look at the history of the headphone jack and what happened with wireless in general,
Yeah.
right, I think we can kind of expect the same sort of thing.
Well, and I just want to say, you guys are all here for history. This is a moment of history.
There's 216 people here.
I don't care about the headphone jack anymore.
What? Who are you? And what have you done with Jason? You are not Jason.
Someone's got to clip that and put it on Twitter.
I have all the headphones. They're all like along the wall over here, like 20 sets of headphones. Some of them have wires. But I'm tired of complaining about something that is obviously not going to come back. And now we are getting wireless headphones that could potentially rival not what we get with wired headphones. Wired headphones are a specific thing. And I'll make another admission.
Oh, no.
It has been a long, long time since I took a wired pair of headphones and wore them outside.
Oh, of course. Nobody does that.
I use Bluetooth headphones 98% of the time.
All right, Jason. So another question for you. So with Apple bringing these out at $549, they are definitely putting these into the studio headphone category. In the box, you get a Lightning to USB-C cable, which I guess you could plug into your computer. But Apple is also selling but they're selling an additional Lightning to 3.5 millimeter cable. So how do you feel about the way Apple is handling the connectivity, given that there's no auxiliary port on the actual headphones themselves?
It's useless. That
Jeez.
that jack is useless, right? Because
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Well, because what kind of DAC are they going to put in there?
Yeah.
What kind of DAC are they putting in these headphones that's going to make them sound good, converting from USB to 3.5 millimeter?
I'm going to do a video about you called "Can You Trust Jason's Headphone Jack?"
And the thing is, like, so
Jeez.
there's all these people are just like, Bob, hell just froze over. Yes. And I've been a champion of the V Series phones forever, since the first V Series phone. And I love those phones. And they exist and give me an option to use the wired headphones when I want to. Okay, great, fine. However, the V Series is dead. There will be no more V Series phones.
You think so?
What LG comes out with next year will not have a headphone jack. Okay? The party's over. The party is over. And as much as I love wired headphones, I love the sound, I love the variety that you can get. I love it's like I don't drink beer anymore, but it's like, sipping from some fine vintages of craft beers, right?
Hmm.
Love it. But I'm not gonna fight it when it comes to mobile audio anymore.
Interesting.
Because why?
Mm-hmm. Good question. Can't fight the future, right? So I never answered that question from about 20 minutes ago. I am not getting these.
Okay.
It's not that I can't afford them. I just feel like I'm not somebody who is going to buy a product just to put on my YouTube channel. I'm not doing that. I made that pact to myself when I first started 3 years ago. I wasn't doing that. Wasn't doing it again. I'm not doing it now. I don't make purchases unless and I can't talk. I don't make purchases unless they are like rational and it's something I'm actually going to use on a day-to-day basis or something close to a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And these headphones ain't it, especially when I have a whole bunch of other headphones that I'm probably going to use. And these are just too niche and too expensive for me. Besides, I actually want to get something else that's kind of high price anyway. Before I even think about getting these, I want to get the Amplify Alien Wi-Fi 6 router, and that's like almost $400. So
that's a good investment. Now, I want to echo what you're saying because I actually made a conscious decision after Christmas last year, and I've done it for the entire year this year, where I have only purchased things tech for my channel and for myself if I knew I was going to continue to do that. I've literally bought 2 things this year, the Q10s and this Godox Lite, which is definitely overkill for what I'm using for, but I love it. Right? So,
well, I've got 2 of the Godox, and I love them. Because they give you the value of an Aperture 120D for less than a third of the price.
Exactly. And it came recommended from like John Rettinger, John Morth, and like you use it and whatnot. But I also want to kind of, because we know this is going to happen, and I kind of question myself right now, do I really want to talk about this and get people on an uproar? But and I really don't care if I'm going to or not. So I'm going to say it. We're going to see after the 15th, what's the return time for those things? 14 days. So 15
30
plus 14, so that'll be 29. So by the 29th or 28th, you'll start seeing videos of, this is why I returned the AirPods Max. This is why I don't like them. And all the excuses, because you know who you are, where you purchase the stuff and you just return it after. And that, I mean, cool, right? I'm glad you're doing a 14-day, 10-day review on stuff, but man, come on.
Yeah, like I said, I got more stuff. I got more important stuff I want to get, and I just can't justify spending $600 on a pair of headphones because once you get past the tax, they're $600.
For me, my situation is slightly different. I always try and get things that I think have the possibility to be valuable to me, and that I would use. But I've got an itchy trigger finger when it comes to sending stuff back. That's the way I've always done it. Like if I don't like it and it costs a bunch of money, if there's something that's just making me unhappy about it, it's going back. Going back.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with
so
that.
But these headphones, now I left Male Sensitivity's comment up here from a while ago because he says you can make any excuse you want to justify the purchase, but those excuses don't make this a good choice. I am not making any excuses. I saw that they were out. I went to the website. I pressed buy, and that was it. I've been waiting for these for a long time because my desire with wireless headphones is that they will like enhance my living experience. Wireless headphones, just in general, are a pain in the ass. They are a pain in the ass, and I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. How often have you been listening to wireless headphones on your phone and then you want to connect them to your computer? But then like most of the time it doesn't work. And then you got to like disconnect them and then reconnect them. And wireless headphones are so fiddly. And it takes one thing that you love about headphone jack and wired headphones is there's no 3-minute like fiddling around trying to get it to pair right when you just have a plug and a jack and you're off. I want headphones, wireless headphones that are as easy, as convenient as that.
Are you still using the speakers, the Apple HomePods?
Yeah.
Are you still using those as left and right?
Yeah.
And you okay, so since your video and everything like that. So yeah, I understand where you're going with this, where you're having kind of like a whole Apple, not just, like audio experience, right?
Yeah.
I see where you're going. See, it makes makes sense.
I was gonna say the comment that Jason just took down from Male Sensitivity. I don't think he was talking about you directly. I think he was just speaking in general. And the thing about it is, none of us can justify whether it's a good purchase or a bad purchase for somebody else.
That's right.
Everybody buys things for their own reason, and if they feel like that price or that product is justified and they want to buy it, then good for them. That doesn't make it a good choice or a bad choice. It's just, if they can afford it and they're still paying their bills and they're getting their things done and they buy it, the Apple AirPods Max, then hey, more power to them. I know a bunch of people that like are like Jason that were waiting for these. I know El Jefe, he pulled the trigger too. He was waiting for them. I was kind of waiting for him until I thought that price. I'm like, I can't do it.
Jeff picked these up?
Yeah, Jeff ordered them. Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised.
So we got
okay.
Danny Winget in the chat, and he put this comment. These are going to be like the HomePod, good but priced out of range for actual audio lovers. I think that's a relative scale. You know, I think there are people who have already paid a lot more for headphones than this, and they're going to be like, well, like me.
And they're already, the AirPods Max are already sold out. FYI.
Yeah, but it's a good point. I mean, the HomePods, when the HomePod came out, it was not good. It was not good.
No,
it wasn't. The sound was, I guess, if you like that sort of overly bassy, round, wompish sound, then they were good. It seemed to me like they were tuned for pop music, and I don't like no pop music, so they weren't really for me. And then when they came out with AirPlay 2 and stereo, I tried that. I tried it. We all know this, right? I tried it, and they wouldn't stay paired. So I'd be listening to a song, and then like it would end, and the next song would be coming up, and it wouldn't play. So back to Best Buy again. Bought the AirPods for the third time, or the HomePods for the third time, to test out this home theater deal that they got now. And they are really good. Really good. Like, I took out my separates system entirely and I just have two HomePods sitting on the wall. Like, it's uncanny how good they sound. And like, dialogue is clear. There's a lot of sub bass somehow. I don't know. So I've seen Apple over the years bring out audio products, and eventually, you know, they kind of make them, they improve upon them. They've been making headphones for a while, and they got Beats, and Beats has a long history.
Not to mention, Apple has a whole audio lab over there at their headquarters that is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures of it, but it's just crazy how state-of-the-art that is.
Yeah. I mean, they started building that shortly after I think even shortly before the Beats purchase, correct?
And FYI, if anybody goes to Apple and tries to order a pair of AirPods Max right now, you will be waiting at least 12 to 14 weeks for every model.
Oh.
Good job, Jason. Good job. Jason knew what to do. He knew what to do.
So question for both Jason and Viper, because you guys buy more headphones than I do. Like, honestly, like before I bought these Q10s, the last pair I bought were the Space ANC from Anchor. Again, another Anchor product, which I absolutely love. Actually, they were my first over-the-air that I used here on the podcast and everything. What is the path, do you guys think, for Apple? I mean, these are obviously their first over-the-ear. So, for example, we saw AirPods, then AirPods Pro, right? And then a variation with the wireless charging and whatnot, right? What is the path after this? Assuming there's a sport, quote unquote, sport model that's going to come out. Do you think they're going to be built differently, lower price point, less feature? Like, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think we'll see in the next 12 months, hopefully?
Well, I don't know if it would be 12 months, but I have a sense of what the path is. Viper, you wanna go first and tell us what you think?
Audio guru go last. Like John Prosser said, there, like you said, Zach, there is a rumor sport model, and if there is, that's the one I'm gonna be looking at because that'll be more along my price range. But yeah. As far as if they'll be different, I don't know if they'll be that much different because even a sport model is gonna have noise cancellation, it's gonna have transparency, it's gonna have the automatic switching. So I don't know if the sport model can be that much different from the Mac. Maybe they won't have the swappable ear cup because the Macs have the swappable ear cup. So maybe the sport model will have in-place ear cup. Maybe it won't be built as well. I think I think that's metal on the AirPods Max. So maybe the AirPod or the regular light version will have like just plastic or whatever. So yeah, the build quality will probably be different from. But other than that, I don't think there can be much different.
Do you think? And I guess this is more for Jason's question, because looking at iPhones, looking at the last couple of years of iPhones, and including the SE models, what they're made of, do you think on a lower tier model, a sport mode, they would use plastic, or do you think they would still stick with metals?
Oh
and
no,
whatnot?
if they'll probably use plastic on a lower tier model, probably.
especially a sport
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because metal and sports don't necessarily go well together. Here's what I think we're going to see, and I think we can look at the Beats line for the roadmap.
Mm.
So you could say that these headphones that they released today, the AirPods Max, are the Beats Studio Wireless, right?
Yep.
Now, Beats Studio Wireless were stupid expensive for what they were, but hopefully this time, I mean, that was not Apple. Apple did not develop those Beats. So I think they're going to go with the Studio Max, whatever. But we're also going to see maybe like Power Beats style AirPods. Also, the Beats Solo. I think the Beats Solo. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think the Beats Solo are probably the best selling. Well, maybe not the best selling, but the best selling, like non-earpod, in the ear kind of thing that Beats has.
Oh no, Jason, no. On-air headphones are the devil. God, no.
Hey, I wouldn't buy them. I wouldn't buy them. Not in 100 years.
Mm.
I got a pair when I bought my iMac Pro, and I gave them to my wife. She loves them. So, but I think we'll see something that is in the $300 to $350 range.
Yep. That
is like an on the ear kind of thing for that. I mean, people like it. And they're gonna fill out this line with stuff that sells to different people. I mean, because if you only make stuff that one group of people is into, then you're not selling as much stuff.
Listen, man, if I got to pay a $200 premium just to get over-the-ear headphones, I'm gonna be mad.
I'll admit, if Apple does a 250 to 350 tops Canadian pricing, Apple over like what we see right now, I will probably pull the trigger. I mean, the feature set's got to be there. Like, but at this current right now, at this, right? It's not my niche, not me.
Yeah, I think that when we were talking about this, when the leaks were coming and we were getting some information.
Yeah.
Nobody expected
this price
price point first, right?
Yeah,
they're going to ease us in. Everybody was like, well, they'll ease us in. They'll slip it in slow.
No, they went in there. They didn't even spit.
They didn't even. Yeah,
Oops.
they did what Apple does. That's what they
Sorry.
do.
Yeah,
PG show. I forgot.
So, and Retailer Tech asks here is, will the AirPods Max, will people work out in them?
Yeah.
In these?
Some people might, but I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
I don't think it's a good idea just because. So you've got stainless steel frame. So the telescoping, adjustable thingies and all that. The basic frame of it is stainless steel, and then the cups are aluminum or aluminium.
Stop it.
However you want to say it. And so the reason that they're aluminum is because weight and overall malleability of that product. Yeah. I think that we wouldn't be having this conversation if Apple had been like, here's a $300 pair.
Yeah.
And here's a $550 pair.
Yeah.
But this is what Apple does. I saw a comment fly by earlier on that says Apple's making me love and hate them. Welcome to the world of Apple.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Here's the thing, like people will work out in them, but they won't be IP rated or anything like that, and it's probably not advised, especially given the breathable mesh ear cup that they're coming with. These are not going to be workout friendly. They're not going to be sweat friendly. So if you guys are planning on picking these up, I would highly recommend don't take them to the gym. Don't do that to yourself.
Can we talk about the carry case?
Oh,
The-
you're the AirPods. Yeah.
Let me talk about Danny's comment here. Just a little FYI, people. Danny put up that still available on Best Buy and Target for silver and space gray. At first I put the space gray in the cart because that's what I usually get, right? And then I decided to go with the white, the silver.
I'm gonna see if they're still available from Apple Canada. I don't think they are.
So
I would get silver if I were getting them. I get the silver myself.
We got our boy El Jefe in the chat, and
he's getting them for science.
Yes, science.
Thank you for giving me a reason to push that.
Yes, science.
Yes. I'm getting them because this is the kind of stuff that gets me all tingly in the nether places. So people might think that I'm joking, but I'm not. I have been waiting.
Not joking.
I have been waiting for this headphone from Apple since the original AirPods. The original AirPods were a good enough product. Good enough product. They showed the promise of the whole deal, right? Of this AirPods technology with, I think they had the W1 chip in them first before the H1. And then AirPods Pro knocked me out. I still think the AirPods Pro are the best sounding, easiest to use, most comfortable in-ear headphones that you can buy in that $200 to $300 price range. Yep. That's how I feel. Other people might feel differently, but I love them. And so this is what I've been waiting for.
Okay, Jason, but how do you feel about the AirPods?
The AirPods?
The AirPods.
Well, it looks
what Joanne Thorne called it.
It looks to me like when you guys don't have glasses, but if you when you would get a pair of glasses back in the day, you would get this like leatherette sort of folding thing that was real cheap looking and just kind of nasty, but at least you could put your glasses in them. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like those cheap leatherette eyeglass cases from the like 80s.
Does it comes with those, right?
Yeah.
So it comes with those, but it doesn't come with the cable.
It comes with the cable.
I know, but I mean the other cable, the 3.5 millimeter to
I don't want that cable.
I know you don't, because you used to be that guy. You used to be that guy. Remember that guy?
I will say this: I have never listened to a pair of wireless headphones plugged into anything. I mean, it's not the point. I haven't done it.
I can't believe what's happened here tonight.
Aren't those Aonic 50s like $1,500 or something like that? I know I've seen them. They're expensive, but I don't care about the case. I couldn't give two poops.
I mean, it's not the for us to like make fun of, but I don't think anybody cares about the case. I mean,
well, when I first saw it, I thought of that scene from Friends where Joey's got a man purse, a Merce. Remember, he's like, "Hey, check out my man bag," and everybody's like, "You mean your purse?" That's what it looked like to me.
He's grown up.
I mean, some people call it a satchel. Jason, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you with your air satchel.
Yeah.
So
I just wish that it came with a belt clip.
Oh my god!
Probably an already forgot. But Jason, what color did you order?
I ordered the silver.
Ooh,
Silver.
nice.
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna get the space gray. I always go for the space gray, but then I was like, and this is part of it. I think, well, what's gonna pop in a YouTube thumbnail? Space gray? No. White? Yes.
You actually thought about that? Really?
Wow. I think about that all the time now. And I bet Danny does too, and I bet Hefe does. Because you got to have that thumbnail that draws the people.
Yeah, but if I'm buying a product mostly for myself, I don't think I'm thinking about how I look in a YouTube thumbnail, though.
Well, I'm beyond the age of actually being stylish. So I don't care.
I think there's hope for you.
I mean, I didn't buy like quince colored or whatever it is, fuchsia. I didn't buy the fuchsia.
They're sold out here 14 to 16 weeks to get up here.
Yeah, I told you,
Yeah.
throw it out
That's 'cause
completely.
they gotta
I'm pretty
bring 'em
sure
by
that
sled
Apple
dog.
Canada did not stock them. They're probably going to come directly from China or from the warehouses in Los Angeles.
Yeah, they got to bring them by sled dog this time of the year.
Hey, you
Oh,
know what?
listen,
You know what?
it was
It was warmer this morning here than it was in Fort Lauderdale. I'd like to let you know.
Yeah, it was like it was 30 something, like low 30s, high 20s today.
Right now it's 41 Fahrenheit here, which is like 5 Celsius.
Now, this is funny. D brand skins for your AirPods Pro Max.
Oh, dude, you know they're coming. You know they're
The
coming.
thing is, like, okay, I've come to terms with D brand for some stuff. I actually like some of the stuff that they're doing now, and I would never put a sticker on $550 headphones. Just wouldn't do it.
Will you engrave them? Because they have engraving available.
Yeah, but that takes more time. I want it now.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think.
I'll take it out to Things Remembered and get it engraved out there.
Jeez.
I think Things Remembered doesn't exist anymore. So
I don't think so. Jason, I think it's fair to say that the thing that you're looking forward to most about these AirPods Max is probably the audio quality, right?
audio quality is well, it's got to have the audio quality. That's like a non-negotiable. If the audio quality is garbage, then I don't care how convenient it is. I don't care how well it works in the Apple ecosystem or any of that stuff. They will go back and I will make a video bitching and complaining about it.
So this is what so when it comes to you, El Jefe, Games Key, Board at Work, the reason I'm really looking forward to your guys' reviews is what you just said, Jason, how they sound, because you guys can definitely describe to both audiophiles and people like myself or whatnot that are maybe not as in tuned, pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let me piggyback off of that. Let me piggyback off of that real quick. Okay, go ahead, Zach. Go ahead. I thought you were
No, I was gonna say, because what sound like it's very easy for me to do a video say these sound great, buy them, right? But what do you mean by great, Zach? And that's where I have trouble doing audio type reviews and whatnot. So I look forward to how the four of you guys are going to really go into the details of why and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, and to piggyback off of that, Jason, you just said that you're looking for audio quality. Now, for me, good audio quality starts and ends not starting, but it starts with bass. I have to have that bass. I have to be able to feel that bass. If I can't feel that bass, then the audio is kind of lacking for me. So, Jason, when you look at a pair of headphones and when you think about the audio quality, what things are you specifically looking for in audio quality for a set of headphones for you?
Can I ask? I make one request, Jason. When you test these,
Yeah,
do the regular music and whatever you do, like whatever whatever sources.
I've
you
got a
do and everything like
playlist. Yes,
But okay, yeah, whatever you do, okay, make sure you let us know whether it was Spotify, Apple, or FLAC, or whatever, or Tidal. But I also here's a request from me. I want you to go and find some ASMR channels and just see how.
Jason, can you
listen to. Okay, I'll check out some.
I can recommend a few different ASMR channels. Ones that
I don't-
actually have
I don't need to know what you do after your.
Dude,
Kid
it
goes
helps me
to
sleep. It helps me sleep.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
And I'll probably just listen to Spotify because Spotify's the biggest service out there, right? So I'll be getting what most people will be getting.
And Jeff, I see you in the chat. I also want Jeff El Jefe reviews to check out and do some ASMR testing. Seriously. Seriously.
I wanted to put so I'll answer your question in a second, but I've got Khalil's message up here he says that Drew from Tailosive also says that engraving depreciates the value if you ever want to resell them. Well, here's the thing. If you get a pair of headphones engraved, you aren't buying them to resell them.
There you go.
They are yours. You are making a commitment.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if it depreciates the value or not. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So anyway, back to your question. I want a neutral soundstage.
Okay.
A neutral soundstage that is basically like it doesn't do the smiley face thing. Like a lot of times you get like
What?
EQ that is, a little hot, a little
Okay.
punched up on the highs, a little punched up on the lows. And if that's where you start, then it's impossible to get someplace else. You're always going to be fighting that. And I don't love them. I don't want that. I just read love in the chat and came out of my mouth. Very strange. But I want neutral soundstage.
Okay.
I listen to most stuff. The most that I listen to stuff in headphones is through like studio grade headphones, which are made to be as flat and uncolored on their own as possible, so that you can make like decisions about your mix or what you're recording, and know that you have a baseline that's not a baseline BASS, but baseline BASE, that you can work from, and you can learn. Every headphone has its own little intricacies and all that kind of thing, little foibles and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I want a neutral soundstage. If they come with like bass boost engaged, they are going back.
I don't think that can happen. I don't think it's happening.
Well, I mean, that was part of my problem with the HomePods.
Oh,
When you listen, I mean, I usually roll off like below 70 hertz. I don't want to hear that stuff. It's because what happens when there are certainly things that can reproduce those sounds appropriately, but most of the time, a consumer level product is going to have like the crossover be in a weird place, and the bass is just going to sound like somebody's farting all over the place.
Lord.
And and it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much for me.
Okay. So
Cucumber.
my next question is, when you are testing audio quality on a set of headphones, do you have a song or a type of music that you play first to test the audio?
I have a playlist, and the playlist is kind of has a lot of different things.
Does it have Led Zeppelin?
No.
Oh.
It has Steely Dan.
I knew it had. I knew
That's
it.
Steely Dan, man. That is like the starting point for all audiophile testing.
It makes so much sense. Okay, go on. I knew it.
Nora Jones. So, don't know why, that Nora Jones song.
If you see
Because
Taylor Swift, don't.
No. I do have some more modern stuff to test. The way that modern music is mixed is stupid. And
look at Danny's comment. I wish we could play that right now.
Oh God, Danny's hilarious.
I mean, I might put that in there just to get a little palate cleanser.
Oh man, you should put WAP in there.
Yeah. But so those of you who are listening, Danny Winget says, "Oh, I thought it was going to be back that ass up." Yeah. Dire Straits is one that I use quite often.
That's actually a good one.
What I can't. This is going to sound weird.
Oh no.
But Kansas's first record.
You put Kansas on as a listing?
Yeah.
Actually, that makes sense with a lot of the acoustic guitar in there, like the plucking.
Well, see, here's the thing.
That makes sense.
Boston. I'm sorry.
Oh well, now see. Okay.
Boston. Boston is. I don't know if you know the story of how Boston became a band.
Teach us. Go on.
So Tom Scholes, who's the guitar player, he worked for he had some kind of crazy science degree. He was an engineer. He was working for IBM, I think it was, and in his spare time, he had built himself a studio and was like making music. And he just started like recording these songs, and they built up over time, and so those are some of the best recorded songs ever.
Do you have any Pink Floyd on
I
that
do.
list? Oh, which songs? Which songs?
Uh,
Please tell me High Hopes is one of them.
no, it's not.
That's the song I want at my funeral. So if I die tomorrow, everybody, High
All right.
Hopes. Okay.
Jason,
right.
what is the last set of Bose headphones you owned or viewed?
The 700s. I didn't review them. But I have.
You must love those because those definitely have a neutral sound stage.
They are much more neutral, but there's other problems with Bose that I can't get into. The problem with Bose is and it's gotten better over the years, but it's still a thing. The noise canceling that they do impacts the audio, and I don't like it. The 700s are the best sounding Bose headphones that I've ever heard, but that's a low bar. Okay, that's do you guys know what Bose stands for?
Uh-oh.
All highs, no lows, must be Bose. No?
Buy other sound equipment.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all know what's coming. Y'all know what's coming.
And that's the
Whoa, not that one.
oh, shot fired! Shot fired on the podcast.
Do you know what Ford stands for?
No, tell me.
Found on Road Dead.
I've heard that one before.
Fix or repair deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac is something that I'll put on. I will also put on some more recent acoustic stuff. I will also put on like Queens of the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly stuff that is recorded really well that is going to give me an opportunity to hear a certain thing very well in those headphones.
Here's one for you. The live performance, and there's a specific one. I'll have to send it to you. I know you can find it on all the streaming. The live performance that Guns N' Roses did of November Rain. You know, the one that has that intense. Oh, come on. Come on. It's got that big piano opening.
Man, that song makes me want to barf.
What?
That song makes me want to barf. That whole Use Your Illusion thing makes me want to barf.
He lost the cold. He walked off the set. He walked off the set.
Now, I love Appetite for Destruction. Love it. It was when that came out, I was like, what is this? Because at the time, it was all hair metal. It was all like Poison and stuff. And then Guns N' Roses comes firing out with like all this really raunchy ass stuff. And I was like, this is amazing. AC/DC is another.
So
AC/DC is mid-range guitars.
So somebody was asking in the chat, can Apple deliver quality audio with active noise cancellation? And I can say yes, because when I have it turned on my AirPod Pro, audio sounds good to me. So yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things that impressed me about the AirPods Pro from the get-go was that, as Jeff said up here somewhere, where'd it go? Jeff said, where is it? Where did you go? Basically, he said that EQ shift is a thing with noise canceling headphones. Like that, the way that noise canceling headphones work is that they have an array of microphones on the outside, and some have microphones on the inside as well. And what those microphones are doing is always adjusting for the outside sound, right? And some do it better than others. The Bose, I was never a big fan, and so the AirPods Pro, when I turn on the noise canceling, it sounds better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an achievement. Now, I don't have a ton of high-end wireless headphones. But Bob, no. Lou Reed Metal Machine Music, not gonna happen.
I have two other suggestions for bands. Like, first of all, I thought for some reason that you liked Guns N' Roses, but I guess you don't.
You missed my whole explanation.
I know I did. Yeah, because I was
Appetite for Destruction is one of the best records ever made.
Okay.
Use Your Illusion 1 and 2
Yes.
are two sides of the same toilet paper.
Okay, so I have two other bands or people you may want to look at. One's a Canadian artist, Matthew Good. You guys may have heard him down there, Matthew Good.
I'm not familiar.
Anything he's done.
Okay.
Matthew Good and Venga Boys. I'm just kidding about the Venga Boys. Don't do Matthew Good though. Don't do Venga Boys.
I also listen to stuff like Ella Fitzgerald. The thing about older recordings is the way that they were recorded was much more spacious. You could get the sound and feel of the room that they were in. All modern recordings are like, well, I mean, the sound comes out of a computer and it's crushed with compression to death. And there's no dynamics or anything like that. And that can sound good. You can really make good sounding records with that as your style.
Speaking of records, do you have any vinyl that you might test with these? And that, I guess that goes back to the question of, did you buy the cable so you can connect them? I know that they're wireless, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying for the sake of testing and review.
I already said I didn't buy the cable.
Okay.
I'm not going to buy the cable. And as much as I love vinyl for the listening experience, I would not test headphones on vinyl.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because the vinyl adds a lot of harmonic distortion. That's why it sounds warmer or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of harmonic distortion, and that kind of takes away from the clinical aspect of what I want to be doing when I'm listening to the headphones. So
this is the kind of stuff I'm looking forward to with your review, like the way you're describing stuff.
Yeah. So there will be some Beatles, although I have to say as well, like I love the Beatles. I love them forever. But I find their music in terms of like quality of recording. I find that music not the greatest for testing headphones. So I listen to them because I know it so well, but I'm listening for an overall experience as opposed to like, I try and be very sort of surgical about what I'm listening for in every particular song. I want to hear what the bass sounds like. I want to hear the crack of the drums. I want to hear the mid-range of the acoustic guitars and the electric guitars. So I try and pick, and I want to hear a really well recorded vocal. So I have different songs that do that better. Like I know if I put on AC/DC, Back in Black, mm-hmm. and I just hit play on the first track after the bell goes away, there's a certain way those guitars have to sound.
Okay. And
if they don't sound like that, then it's not, we're already on the way out. So it's the same thing with Kansas too. Like Kansas has a lot of Boston has a lot of dynamics to it. So they're up, they're down, they're all over the place. It's very intricate arrangements. Mm-hmm. So I listen to them for that. I'm not a fan of Santana. Sorry, Steven.
I'm surprised at that. But he likes Steely Dan.
Oh man, I love Steely Dan.
Listen to the passion in the voice. People, oh man, I love Steely Dan.
They're not my favorite band, but I enjoy listening to them. Because they always worked with incredible musicians.
Hey, we got a super chat.
Super chat. Hey, Greggy for $1.99.
All right.
Thank you. I don't have my applause. Thanks, man. Thank you, Greg. Okay. So,
anything else we want to add to this? Because we've gone an hour and 14 minutes now.
And I could talk about this all night.
I know you could.
Molly Hatchet, no. But if I want to listen to like 3 guitar Southern rock, of course, there's Leonard Skinner. But there's also the Drive-By Truckers. The Drive-By Truckers pretty amazing. And I was just playing Waylon Jennings songs last night. I love Waylon Jennings. I love Johnny Cash. Yeah. So they don't make it onto my list of stuff, but they are something that I need to
Here's a song I want you to add to your list. Long Cool Woman, the Hollies.
In a black dress.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always thought it was called Long Cool Woman, but I think it's officially called Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. But then the Hollies. I love that track.
Yeah.
That's a cool track.
Smells Like Teen Spirit is another song that's kind of like Back in Black by AC/DC. There's a certain way. No.
You don't like Pearl Jam, yeah.
I mean,
do you like Eddie Vedder's like solo stuff, the stuff he did for that movie?
Eddie Vedder is what's wrong with Pearl Jam. So,
oh man, got all the hot takes tonight.
Damn, dude. Like what?
See, if you think that I'm painfully honest about all this stuff, just wait until I start my music channel.
Oh, I want in on that.
Yeah, because I have very strong opinions.
Because when I DJ'd, when I hosted, so I DJ, but I did more of what's called Name That Tune. So we would host different rounds in the bar. I would go around asking people to name the song title and the artist, and we would always start with a round of 50s, 60s, then a round of 70s, then we did 80s, and then we did 90s, and then we did 2000 plus. So I have, I like to think I have a range of stuff I really appreciate and stuff like that. I really love like 80s and 70s rock and roll, and when it comes to rock and roll in the 90s, specifically grunge, right?
Yeah.
Anything after 2010 is garbage. For the most part. What'd you say, Viper?
It's really weird.
Garbaggio.
So Jermaine, Drive-By Truckers. My band back when I was a young person opened for the Drive-By Truckers, I think 3 times. And my current band a few years back, we played with Jason Isbell, who used to be in the Drive-By Truckers. Yeah, very good stuff.
Jason.
Yes.
Headphone review. You got to pull a Flossie Carter for us. You got to think for the people, Jason. You got to think of the people.
We were supposed to do karaoke. We went to Vid Summit. Remember? And I was going to sing you under the table.
Oh,
because I used to host karaoke. I used to sing "Strokin'" by Clarence Carter. That got the ladies.
Yeah,
Jason. You got to think.
You know what got the ladies for me in karaoke? Little Red Corvette.
You used to sing Little Red like Prince?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got the range, man.
That was the panty dropper.
Get the pipe ready, Jason. Get the pipe ready for the review, baby. Get the pipe ready for the review.
I will. In fact, here's a story. We went on a cruise a couple of years ago for my in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary.
I remember this. You told me about this. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so they had karaoke every night in one of the bars. And that was the only thing that I cared about. Everything else, I was like, but I went down to do the karaoke, and I did some Bill Withers. I did Little Red Corvette, and I had a group of women who came back every night to hear me sing that song.
Group of women. So this like more than 2?
Yeah, it was like 4, I think. That's like 4 or 5.
That's like a gaggle.
Jason had groupies. Yeah, groupies.
Did you? So you had groupies on the cruise with your wife there?
Yeah.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Well, she goes to bed early, so I gotta, I mean,
you're
entertain myself.
You're in international waters. Anything can go. Good for you, buddy. Good.
No,
I'm gonna give you one of these.
Cucumber.
Good for you, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, he goes to bed early.
The only reason that young men get into playing rock and roll is to get young women.
That's why Kiss exists. That is why Kiss exists. You like Kiss?
Are you telling us that's why you got into music, Jason, to quarter ladies? Is that why?
Oh, come on, totally.
No, but it certainly helped. It certainly helped.
I love this. I love this. This is great.
I could tell you stories about how I met my wife. She doesn't like.
You can appreciate these stories being told.
Well, okay. since we don't have anything else to talk about.
I mean, I met my wife because I had to do a Name That Tune show at my regular gig. I've been there for like 2.5 years, and my regular co-host wasn't available. So my boss, Mark, he's like, I got this new girl, Tina, to come in. I'm like, oh, and I hated working with new people. I'm like, oh, she's not going to know what, like, my hand signals. And next thing I know, we kicked it off, played 80s music the rest of the night. And then she asked me to go for dinner. And, here we are 14 years later. Yeah. Oh, sorry, 15 years later. Yeah.
So mine is a little bit more long form.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, there's stuff I could have said.
So
it's your show.
I used to hang out in the record store all the time. Wizard Records is what it was called. And I would hang out. I would get done with classes when it's college, right? I'd get done with classes. I'd go down to the Wizard Records. I'd drink coffee in the back with Jack, the manager, who became one of my best friends. And then I'd just go out and like hang out. And so one Saturday I was hanging out at the counter, and this girl walks in. And I've always had a thing for Winona Ryder. Okay. And I was just like, what is that? Who is that?
When you said, what is
I've
that?
never seen this person before. It's not that big a town. Did they just like materialize? Did this girl just materialize out of nothing? And I watched her go around the store, and I was just like, I said to my friend Jack, who was behind the counter, I was like,
you had a friend named Jack?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I said, that's the girl I'm going to marry.
You actually, this is like something out of a movie.
Honestly,
Come on.
I honestly did say that.
Wow. Okay.
So she came up to the counter, and I was just like standing there trying to play it cool. She paid with a check.
A check?
Yeah, a check. It was back in the early 90s.
Wow.
People still use checks.
Kids are like, what? A what?
Yeah. So she paid with a check and left. I followed her.
What? I mean, today they would call it stalking, but go on.
Literally. It was the early 90s. It was totally appropriate then. I followed her. She went to the discount den and got something. And then she started walking up toward campus. And so I'm like following, I put a good block or so between us. But I just wanted to see where she lived.
Oh, my God.
So that I could I could adjust my route to campus for classes to go by where she lives. That was the plan. That was one of my things. I would adjust my route to class in order to see somebody who was in one place or another. But she turned the corner, and then I was far enough behind that by the time I got up to the corner, she had disappeared. And she had like dyed black hair. She, looked like a little indie rock girl. And she had disappeared on Sorority Row. Like the only thing that was on that street was sororities. I'm like, that girl can't be in a sorority. No way. So I went back to the record store and I said to my friend Jack, I said, Jack, I know this is probably not appropriate, but
now it's not appropriate. The whole walking behind from her walk up until then, everything was cool, but now we're inappropriate. Go on, Jason.
Yeah. So I said, Jack, I know that it's probably not cool, but could I see just the name on that check? And he saw how hard I was crushing. And so he let me see the name. I wrote it down. I went home. I looked up the number.
In a phone book.
In a phone book, yes.
Yeah,
no internet book. Then.
No internet.
Looked up the number in the phone book, and my friend Jack and I, we always had coffee and donuts early on Sunday morning. So we talked through, like, should I call her? Is that too weird? And ultimately, I decided to call her. So I called, and I said, this is going to be really weird, but I saw you yesterday at Wizard Records, and I saw your name on your check, and so I looked you up so I could give you a call. Would you want to go out and have coffee sometime? And first she said, which one were you?
Which one were you?
And I was like, oh. And then she says, I don't drink coffee, and I have a boyfriend. And I was like, oh, well, click. you know? And I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? Over the next 6 months, I saw her a bunch of times at the bar where I always played and hung out, like different places. And I guess I stared in a very creepy way because her friends and her were very much weirded out by the fact that I was like staring through her.
Yeah. Okay.
So one night I'm playing, my band is playing, and she's there. And I'm like, this is great because this will get me in the door. And we get on stage, we start playing our first song, and I see them walking out. So at the end of the 6 months, there's a band called Rusted Root. Yeah, they had that song in Ice Age, that song that they always play, the theme song for Ice Age. It's on my way. On my way.
Okay, well, come on, we're engaging. This.
Anyway,
Go. Yeah.
So they were playing, they were from Pittsburgh, and they came down to Morgantown all the time to play. They were like a reggae band, and we had a local reggae band that always played with them. So all of the preppies, the sorority and fraternity bros and all that kind of stuff came to these shows because this was pre-grunge. So reggae was like the thing. And so I thought, I had a weird day. The woman who had the next year become Miss West Virginia asked me out on a date. And then and then I had a car accident. And then another girl called me and asked me out on a date. And it was Thursday, which was Friday. Thursday is always Friday in college. So I was like, well, this can't get any weirder. So I'm just going to go down to the bar tonight. And she was there. And I positioned myself like right behind her.
Okay.
And kept kept trying to get an angle where I could like try and make eye contact or whatever. The bar had these long shelves along the wall that you could sit on. So I just sat on the shelf. I just sat there. And
So you had all these women throwing themselves at you, and you still pursued.
I want what I can't have, man.
Okay, go on. Go
So-
on. I just
So I sat there, and her group of friends came closer, and there was this guy. He was like an Adonis. Like if Adonis was a skater, that was this guy. And I thought, well, that must be the boyfriend. I can't compete with that. I just straight up can't compete with that. Turns out that it was one of her friend's brothers. He's a good friend. But she bumped into me and said, "Oh, I'm not bumping into you too much, am I?" And I was like, and then I did the same thing like a little later. And we started talking and talked through the rest of the show. And then I offered to walk her home, which I did. She lived in a sorority house. And so we talked outside the sorority house for a little while. She went inside. And the next day we had our first official date, which was this was my go-to first date. So we had a pauper cemetery in town that was off this back road, and it was just like a big field of white wooden crosses. It was kind of serene, you could sit back and nobody's around. You're out in the country. And so go there. And then there was a monastery in town, not far away from that cemetery. And they had what they called the Bible walk. So the Bible walk was store mannequins on a path through the woods, posed in like biblical story poses. And of course the weather had like done its thing on its like Moses missing an arm, like just was the creepiest.
It's not already weird, but go on.
Yeah, so it's the weirdest, most surreal thing that you could ever experience. She did still have the boyfriend for a short period of time.
You stole that man's girl.
I did.
Good for you, man. You married that woman.
And that was April 14th, 1991.
Good for you.
Yeah. Been together ever since. I think she
So-
regrets it.
So, in short, ladies and gentlemen, and for the kids that are listening, if you stalk a woman and you find out her information and you stare at her long in the bar, there's a chance you can take her to a cemetery and then marry her.
Let's break this down though. This happened umpteen years ago, before the advent of social media. So back in the day, people, if you wanted to pursue a lady, and weird as some of this stuff sounds, this is how it was done. This is normal activity like 20 years ago. So
I'm
it may
poking
sound
fun,
weird
but yeah.
today.
Yeah, I mean,
Normal.
I'll say this. I'll say this, but I think most men can relate to this. That took balls to call her up. Like, do you know what I mean?
I was
Like,
very nervous, and it
I
didn't
can
go well.
imagine.
But yeah, she still had the boyfriend. We spent the rest of the semester together, basically everywhere. And then she went back home. Her boyfriend she lived in Pennsylvania. Her boyfriend was there. She broke up with the boyfriend, and the rest is history. Now, I do want to reiterate that doing this in 2020 will get you arrested.
Yes.
And on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, these days you can stalk them on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, right? You can. It's easier to stalk. You know, you just like
Easier to stalk.
you just creep onto their Facebook,
Okay.
creep
Yeah.
onto their Instagram, right?
Wow.
That's the way kids do it these days, right?
Yeah, social media. That's how we do it. We do it from a distance.
They swipe left or right or however that app works. I don't know.
Yeah. I think swiping right is the good one. I don't know, but anyway, that's the whole story of how I met my wife.
Wow, that's a whole
And-
story.
Yeah, it's yeah. I had a feeling.
Do you remember? Okay, so your first date, you did the cemetery thing. Do you
Yeah.
remember what was playing at that bar that night when you talked to her? Like what some of the songs were?
Oh, it was still that Rusted Root band. So
Okay,
on
so
my
it's
way,
the live music.
on my
Okay.
way.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a great story.
And I hate white person reggae.
White person. So you
And
don't you don't
that's what
you
That's
don't
what it
like
was.
Snow? You don't like Snow from Canada?
I don't know. I mean,
That
I don't
song.
know what that is.
You did
So-
that song Informer.
See, Morgantown was in this circuit that went through Virginia, New Jersey, Maryland, West Virginia, Ohio. There was this circuit that reggae bands, like white boy reggae bands, would just go through all year, every year. I think it was also like a pot trafficking thing. Because if pot were legalized in West Virginia tomorrow,
Mhm.
it would become immediately the number one cash crop in the state.
yeah.
So
So my question is, how come your wife doesn't watch any of your content, or has she ever watched any of your content?
she watches some of it.
Okay.
But she couldn't give two shits about tech. So yeah, when I told her that I got out of bed after I bought the AirPods, and I told her, and she's like, and then I was like, sorry.
All right. So we're past an hour. We're past 90 minutes here on the podcast. Is there anything else in tech that happened today that we want to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm not aware of anything.
Sorry,
I'm
y'all. I don't have any story that cool with Jason or Zach.
And I have so many stories.
My story is not cool. I mean, but still.
I mean, your story is it's a good story.
But here's the thing, though. If my regular co-host, the girl that DJ'd for me while I was out hosting in the crowd there with everybody, if she hadn't gone to do that private wedding, I would have never been paired up with my wife or my now wife, and here we are. And to this day, we argue about like what was our first date. We can't remember what our first date was, right? So we dated for about 4 years before I finally proposed. We've been married now 11 years, so 15 years. Like it's crazy when I think about that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teresa and I were together for like the next year of school, and then the next year we moved to New York together.
Yep.
She was doing a master's program at NYU, and there was this weird like exchange program between colleges, and one of them was Hunter College in New York. So I got there, And we lived for 11 years in New York, had our daughter, moved back to West Virginia, stayed there for about 18 months, came out to Iowa so I could do the grad school thing. And here we are.
And now you're doing a podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you said Teresa. Is it Teresa or Teresa? How do you pronounce that?
Teresa. That was a strike against me when I made the call. I said, "Is Teresa there?"
Oh, you said Teresa because
And
the
she
name
said-
looks like Teresa.
Yeah.
Oh,
And she said, "No, but Teresa is." And I was like, "Oh fuck, this is not going well."
That's awesome.
I wonder if that's normal though, because most of the time we think about it as Teresa, but maybe it is Teresa. I don't know.
Well,
At least in her case, anyway.
my father-in-law's name is Thomas. He named his 2 sons Thomas.
Oh my god.
He almost convinced my mother-in-law to name my wife Thomasina.
Oh Lord,
That's wow.
I'm glad that didn't happen for you. For
Yeah,
all of our sake.
But they came up with this alternate pronunciation for reasons I'm not sure of.
Solomon, no, there's no U1 chip in the Apple AirPods Max.
It's the H1.
Yes, the H1, and apparently it has the H1 in each ear cup. Apparently,
Yeah, 10 cores. 10 cores each one.
Mm.
So
typical.
it's got some power.
It better for that price tag, man.
I can't wait. I
I
mean,
know you'll be like a kid in a candy store when you get those things. I already know.
it's like I'll dress up as Santa Claus and go out and get it off the porch.
Do we want to do a round of TV recommendations before we
Sure.
wrap things up here tonight? Let's start with Viper.
Ooh, Star Viper for TV recommendations.
Mhm.
I've been watching a lot of movies lately. I went back the other night. And I watched Daredevil with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Gardner.
Why? Because you wanted to hurt yourself?
No, it wasn't that bad actually. It was,
I don't know, man. I love Jennifer Garner. She's from West Virginia. You know, she went to high school with one of my friends.
Jennifer Garner's an angel.
Yep.
Yep.
And you know did you see the commercials where she had her dad in the Capital One commercials?
I did not know.
Yeah, that was actually her dad. Anyway,
I believe it. Yeah, Jennifer Garner. She's
Okay, so Daredevil. What else have you been watching lately?
what else? Other than the Mandalorian. What else? What else did I watch? I watched a movie on Netflix called Second or The Second. I think it's with Ryan Phillippe or whatever. It's about this. Ryan Phillippe is his son is talking to the girl who happens to be the daughter of a politician, and there is some type of plot by the government to kidnap this girl since she's the daughter of a politician. But Ryan Phillippe character is a former Delta Force agent, so it just go from there. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, I could believe Ryan Phillippe is a Delta Force agent.
Yeah, he's badass.
No, I
I'm
couldn't.
surprised you didn't mention Speed because you put on Twitter that Speed was the greatest movie
like-
ever.
It is. I watched that like we go. Oh, wait, what is your greatest movie ever, Zachary?
Zachary. He's throwing the guy on the gauntlet. Greatest movie ever. Dances with Wolves.
Hey, man, it's a classic. It's a classic. Won the Oscar.
All right, so my picks
But,
for television right now. I've been watching obviously Mandalorian, and by the way, there's only 2 episodes left for this season because it ends on the 18th. Yeah, and other than that, because it's going away from Netflix on the 30th of December, I'm watching through right now Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Friends. Those both go bye-bye from Netflix on December 30th.
Yeah,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Friends.
What is this about Jason doing a live unboxing? Really?
I'll do a live unboxing.
Banshee.
You know, I'll have to get a wide lens because I'll be running all over the place, just like, oh my god.
Oh, live unboxing of the headphones.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason, what else? Oh, and also Schitt's Creek. If you guys don't watch, you gotta watch Schitt's Creek. Go on, Jason. What are you watching right now?
Okay. Watching a documentary about John Benet Ramsey's death. I'm watching Curse of the Civil War Gold. Now, this is when I knew, you know that, have you seen that State Farm commercial where the people buy a house and then they start acting like their parents? Well, they got this commercial where people, you know, they're trying to like help somebody they don't know back out of a parking space and read, you know, put tons of pillows, like old people things. And so, yeah, a lot of history stuff. Still making my way through The Expanse. I'm on halfway through season 3 now, I think. And let's see what else.
Make my way downtown.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I haven't had time to watch TV. We always watch a movie on like Friday night, but I usually can't remember them because they aren't very good.
We almost forgot to talk about how I sent Jason on a 4-hour odyssey yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Oh, you were gonna tell the story about this. Okay,
Jason.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to hold something while you talk about this.
And it was all my fault. It was all my fault. But I did warn him ahead of time that there might be some complications during this odyssey.
Yeah. Now Zach's gonna pick up his PS5.
Dude, don't even. Jason, just
Okay.
Think about the street.
So Viper sends me a DM yesterday, and he's got this screenshot of 3 targets in Des Moines, Iowa, that have like one has 6 PS5s, one has 2, and I'm like, well, he's like, you should go if you can get there, and I'm like, it's 2 hours away. But I decided to get in the car, took my daughter with us, so little father-daughter bonding time in the car. I almost fell asleep and killed us.
Oh God!
I did fall asleep and almost killed us, but we were lucky. So then I had to sing the rest of the way, so I didn't fall asleep. Got to the Target, and let me tell you, the people in the Target stores, in the electronics department, they are over it.
I'm sure.
They're just like, I was like, I showed them the app, and I showed them that it said they had 6, and they're like, well, it's possible that 6 have been scanned in to become inventory in our store, but we don't have them.
Whatever.
And I was like, are you sure you don't have them? I just drove all the way from Iowa City, and they're like, oh my God, why'd you do that? But they didn't have them. So I then called the other one that said it had 2, and they didn't have them. And the girl was like completely not wanting to talk to me on the phone. So then we drove back, had some McDonald's on the way. And we didn't get back until like 8:00 last night.
Wow.
So I find it highly interesting because if you guys take a look here at the app, they still have the PlayStation 5 where you can't see it. But yeah, that one he went to yesterday, it still has the 6 in stock. The other one that we called still has 2. I don't know why they're hoarding these systems.
So when I looked at the app, it says 6, but then next to it says in stock, and next to it says out of stock. Like so his explanation of what was going on makes sense to me. But yeah, I drove 2 hours each way to get a PlayStation 5 that didn't exist.
But you know what? It worked out because now you can put those monies towards the headphones. I mean,
I was going to buy the headphones anyway.
I know you were. I'm just saying. I mean, put things in perspective.
And
I have not opened my PlayStation 5 yet because
we know.
Yeah, Christmas, blah blah blah. Don't even start. Start.
What do you mean? It's the truth. It's a Christmas present.
I don't care.
Like kind of
just sit there with an unopened PlayStation.
The thing that kind of irked me about the whole situation is that they told Jason that they're online only, but if you try to buy them online, they're not available. So what are you doing? Why are you sitting on PlayStation 5 that you're not going to tell them? Like, what the hell are you doing with them?
They don't physically have them.
They have them.
So this guy said we don't have any.
They have them. They just won't tell you that they have them.
I almost told my daughter to start crying.
You should have done it. You should have done that.
I was like, poor little girl wants her PlayStation. She's not little anymore. She's 17, but
you should have done that.
Yeah. But I'm determined. I kind of want an Xbox Series X more than I want a PlayStation 5 right now.
Really?
It looks pretty cool, actually, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like the physical.
Oh, okay. That might be easier to get a little bit, but they're both going to be hard, but that might be a little bit easier for you to get.
So the guy at Target did give me some advice. He said, usually what happens when we get the shipment in and the next morning they're not selling them in the store. You can't order them in the store. You can only buy them online. And so what he said was we get them in, go up on the website in first thing in the morning, and then they're gone like 15 minutes later.
Yep.
So the best thing to do is to look at the early morning at Target.
Now, now the problem is when he says early morning, what he means is like 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's what he means, because that's when Target drops them online.
I'm usually awake, so.
But the problem is, unless you follow certain Twitter accounts that make you aware of that stuff, you won't know it when they drop them. They'll just drop them, and like he said, they'll be gone instantly.
What about Amazon? Like Amazon US, have they
Amazon
restocked?
They're absolutely worthless.
Yeah. If you search on most of these websites, if you search PS5 console, like it won't take you to a page.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
It says, "Oops, this page doesn't exist."
Yeah,
I like they're so unavailable that they made the web pages disappear.
We kind of had a cheat code for Walmart, but Walmart has since then disabled our cheat code. There's a site called BrickSeek.com that was showing Walmart inventory, but Walmart got wind of that and they kind of shut that down.
Well, the thing about Walmart is I got a PlayStation 5 in my cart all the way to the point of checkout.
Yep.
2 times. And each time, like their servers were being overloaded. So it took forever to go from page to page. And then I would get to the page and it would be like, and it was said, "Oh, sorry, we don't have that anymore." I'm like, I put it in my cart.
The one thing I keep on hearing about all these bots and people that are doing that whatnot, and I'm just going by what I've seen, like from on Twitter and from Richard from Review Tech USA.
Cucumber.
He's been saying, add in that CAPTCHA, to basically see if you're human or not. They don't. Why doesn't Walmart have that? I mean, you would think for security purposes they would, and for this
they don't care. All they want to do is sell the box. They don't care.
Yeah. So I'll get one. I will. One of an Xbox or a PlayStation, one or the other, I'll get. In other news about my stuff that I have, I'm making a video probably tomorrow about the fact that I'm sending back all of my M1 Max, my Mini, my MacBook Pro, going back. I've already printed the labels.
Is that mainly because of the audio plug and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, and they were weird on Final Cut too. So I was like, I don't need to fool with this anymore. I gave them a couple of weeks, and they were like, it just like using them for just regular like web surfing and whatever, super fast. All the things about them that people are talking about are really great. They are really great computers in terms of the speed, in terms of the heat, in terms of the battery life, all that stuff. But I could not use them effectively for the stuff that I need to do. So I bought a 2020 iMac the other night, 27-inch iMac.
With the monitor and the whole bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting in front of it right now.
Okay, that's what you're on.
And the best thing about it was it still was on Catalina. So I didn't even have to like roll back to Catalina.
What about the monitor size? Because I know that you've used typically big, huge. Are you okay with the monitor size?
Yeah, I've had several iMacs over the years, and I really do like this size.
Yeah.
And this size seems like more with the 27-inch iMac because of the resolution.
I'm waiting for the spring, hopefully March, no later than April, hopefully, because that's when my Apple Care is up to trade in this MacBook and pay the possibly $500 that includes Apple Care to get a Mac Mini, because I'm not traveling anymore or anything like that. Because I think that, and I would hope by then a lot of these. I don't say there's a lot of issues. Like for what I do, I know for a fact right now I could go get one tomorrow and be perfectly happy with it. But I want to see if there's going to be more than a 16 gigabyte RAM version, just to really future proof myself.
Right.
So that's my only thing. I want more than 16, because right now I have 16, but I know it's on a different, like this is Intel, right? This is M1, and I'm still trying to get past that. So I want to get something with. I just want to really future proof myself.
Yeah, I forgot how good iMacs are. Now it has an i5.
Okay.
It has an i5, a 6-core i5.
You went with an i5. Wow. Okay.
Well, because they don't sell i7s in stores. that's an upgrade for an iMac regardless. So I didn't feel like waiting. I didn't want to spend more money. I spent $2,000.
Mhm.
I got the i5 with 6 cores. I got Radeon 5300. So I exported today a 12-minute something video in 10-bit 4K Apple ProRes. And it took so it's a 12-minute video. It took like 20 minutes. But I mean, that was the file. When I put the file into, it was 28 gigabytes when I started editing. So that's a lot to ask. And so I'm probably going to come back down to like 8-bit 24p, something like that. But man, this camera is amazing. And I'm ready. I'm ready for the new year when nothing happens and no one watches our videos.
No, okay. Let me ask you guys this, just kind of industry related. Have either one of you registered for CES? I know it's online this year, but you really should to get some opportunities.
I might.
How much
Are they charging money? I hope
No,
not.
as far as I can tell, no. And you can't re-register using the last year's logins because this year's different. So you just got to go to ces.tech and register like you did last year. Hopefully get your credentials, and then you can go to these virtual rooms and this and that. But also being on that list is a signal for a lot of brands to get in touch with you and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, question: when you register, do you register as like what industry person, or how do you register?
I think I was under. What was I under last year? I was under video creator or something like that. I wasn't. I did not meet the qualifications at the time, even after they changed them to media, even though they brought down those qualifications. So.
Yeah, I got. I think I was influencer.
Yeah,
something like that. So
I have mine here. Content services is what they had me under last year.
So here is the webcam for
that
the
looks
iMac.
better. That looks better than what you just were on. I'm looking at the live feed right now. That looks better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1080p webcam now, and it does look really good.
That looks better, don't you think, Viper?
A little bit, yeah. So, going back to CES real quick. So when you go to the registration place, they have industry professionals and consumers. So I'm guessing you registered at the what industry
professional, yeah. And then you'll give your credentials, like what makes you an industry professional.
So what do? We just give our YouTube channel or something?
There'll be a bunch of questions and everything like that. You'll have to link to this, link to that. You'll have to supply a business card for
you got to join the Freemasons.
Yeah. You know how you have that iMore article with Renee mentioning your name?
Yep.
Your channel. Make sure you reference to that. That's huge. That's an article, right? That's huge, right?
Like
that's similar to what Twitter looks for Twitter verified. Right? So make sure you have that bookmarked. Yeah. It's not hard to get in there. I mean, it's tougher than us than say like a Daniel Batter at Android Authority kind of thing, right? So
at least this year my legs won't feel like they're about to fall off.
I enjoyed all the walking, man. I enjoyed closing all my. As a big guy,
10 years younger than me.
But the thing is, even as a big guy, I like walking a lot. Like when I go to the mall, I purposely park like in the empty part of the parking lot. Like I don't mind walking and stuff like that.
The farthest that I've walked in the past several months is out of my house to the porch to get packages.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? Because we're wrapping up right now. I'm going to walk over to the mailbox because my Google Stadia was delivered today, and I'm looking forward to playing that and everything like that. So,
yeah, I've also walked from my house to the car, and then walked from the car to a store and back.
That's huge.
My Galaxy Note 20 Ultra told me that I took 63 steps the other day.
Jesus.
Man, I've gained so much weight. I'm heavier than I've ever been in my entire life. But it's COVID time, baby. It's COVID time. I'm gonna eat ice cream and be sad.
Yeah.
My grandmother died.
What's that?
My grandmother died yesterday.
What?
Already heard that.
Okay. I didn't
So-
think we were going to talk about that, but
Well, we're not talking about.
condolences.
I
Yeah.
I like to share it with the people.
Yeah.
Roll the thing.
You want me to roll the thing? Okay.
Roll the thing.
Skip it up and that up.
Oh, sorry, wrong. There.
That was the thing.
It's right below it. Sorry. There we go.
Well, good people. Here we are, the end of another episode of the Painfully Honest Tech Podcast. You can keep it rolling. I like
Well,
this.
I think because it's coming from a separate source, it talks over you.
All
Continue.
right. Anyway, Painfully Honest Tech Podcast, the podcast so honest it hurts. Man, we went far afield today. Talked a lot about headphones, and we talked a lot about stuff. If you want to watch the replays, as I said at the beginning, replays are now going to be behind a $2 paywall for membership.
On
You
YouTube,
also
on YouTube.
get other stuff if you become a member. So just keep that in mind. You can always watch the audio. No, you can't watch the audio. You can always listen to the audio, and be live with us like you are right now. Anyway, thanks again for being here. Once again, people, my name is Jason. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, we